Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Armored Core Marathon. We're starting Armored Core 3 now. But I wanted to say something real quick about the ending of Armored Core 2. The original, of course, because Armored Core 2 and Other Age doesn't really have much of a story. I think I wanted to get my thoughts about Leos Klein. I remember I said at the end of Armored Core 2, like, I'm not really sure what he was after. The reason I got a little confused is because for the longest time, I remember him actually wanting to like free ravens, which is what happens anyway, right? But remember one of his last words before you actually fight him, he says a state of like free ravens or something. He said, "Don't make me laugh. I'm a realist, not a fool." But he also mentions either right before or after that, before the fight starts, he mentions like that people need order and or something like that. Like basically people need to be governed and controlled or something like that. And so it makes me think if the theory about him being the main character from the first game or the Master of Arena game, whichever one is supposed to be the canon, but it's the same storyline overall anyway. Some AI was controlling everything behind the scenes. But if you remember the ending of the very first Armored Core game, the AI controlling the Raven's Nest, and that was like Shadow manipulating politics and everything else between the corporations and the Human Plus project, he says people need order even if it is a lie. And then he tells your character, go on living, find out which one of us was right. You have the right and the duty to find that out. So it's like if the theory about him being the main character from the first game, since they mentioned his connection to the Raven's Nest and all that stuff and the Title 9 breaker, if that's correct, then maybe he came to the conclusion that he fucked up back then. Maybe he came to the conclusion that the AI was actually in the right and that people do need order and they need to be governed and controlled by like some kind of dictatorial power, whether they like it or not. Whether it's an illusion or a lie or not, like the AI program said at the end of the first game. He was probably like, I was wrong. This does need to be a thing. And so I guess he was trying to take control of Mars to prove that to people and to himself, using the Phobos, control center for the disorder units to try and conquer all of Mars. But the only thing that leaves me with doubt that he was the main character from the past game is the fact that he also mentions that you remind him of a friend he had a long time ago that was a rebel. I was like, what if the rebel he's talking about is actually the main character? Because he's the one that destroyed the AI back then. Maybe Leos Klein just didn't agree with that. So, with the fact that he did that, he was on the side of the AI the whole time. That could be it. Maybe he just inherited or faked it, the Title 9 breaker, and took it for himself after the actual protagonist died off. That could be a thing. So yeah, it's something I had to think about after. It was only something I thought about like the day after we finished Armored Core 2. And I was gonna say during Another Age, but I was like, some people, because this game has no story, might skip to Armored Core 3. Some people who watch Armored Core 2. So I figured I'd say it here for those of you who were wondering about my final thoughts on Armored Core 2's ending with Leos Klein and everything. But now we're moving on to Armored Core 3. And this game is a complete reboot of the series, including its storyline. We're starting over from scratch, and I will introduce it as we go along because the game introduces it by itself pretty well. So I'll just let the intro play out, the intro mission and all that stuff, and then I'll talk about what's going on. I'll elaborate a little bit on it and my thoughts on it as usual. So let's get into it. A raven. A literal raven, actually. Unfortunately, as always, I think he's gonna skip the title screen.
One entity.
Yeah. He's gonna skip. I want to get my thoughts on the intro at least. I forget he skips the title screens. So I'll just say it here. I didn't want to interrupt it, so I didn't play any soundboard effects, but you notice they focused a lot more on extremities being blown off. That's finally an actual mechanic in the game. We saw that in Armored Core 2, but that wasn't a mechanic in that one. They were probably thinking about it, but they never actually went through with it. So in this game, your individual AC parts can take damage. There's no health bar for them. It's an invisible number of damage that they can take. You don't know it. If any individual part of your AC gets shot too much, including the head, the arms, your parts, your like weapons, they can get blown up, and you could end up without that for the rest of the mission or arena battle. However, I want to say that from my personal experience, and I played the shit out of this game a lot because it's one of my favorite Armored Core games of all time. Literally. The only one that comes in close second to this would be a game we're not at yet. We'll get there when we get there. But I mean, I'll go off on that tangent. Yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, they it's not. I know this from extensive experience replaying this game over and over so many different times. It doesn't happen often. I never really got any of my AC's parts blown off. Like sometimes I would do entire playthroughs where it would never happen, and I would hardly ever blow off the parts of any of my opponent ACs as well. Like it just doesn't. It's a thing, but it just doesn't really happen. You don't really see it. Like maybe we'll see it in this playthrough, maybe we won't. Like it really just doesn't happen that often. I remember it not being something that happens very often at all. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that that's a thing now, and they showcased it a lot in the intro, but it rarely fucking happens. It's very rare.
One entity ruled the world. It was simply called the Controller. The Controller handled the major decisions of everyone's life. People took it for granted that the Controller would handle every aspect of their lives for them. Under the rule of the Controller, people lived safe yet uninspired lives of a promised prosperity. As time went on, several powerful factors known as corporations came on the scene. In their separate struggles to gain absolute power, the corporations waged war upon each other. The Controller even manipulated the corporations' war. All was going according to the plans of the Controller, but somehow the forces of chaos began to rise.
So they're being upfront about it this time. It's a reboot of the story, and the storyline is basically very similar to Armored Core 1. The entity known as the Controller is basically an AI system that is running all of society. Everything. And society, they haven't mentioned this part yet, but society has, after an enormous war that destroyed the surface of the planet, has been forced underground, and they're all living underground under the control of the Controller. So yeah, it's basically Armored Core 1's storyline all over again, and Master of Arenas, basically. However, they're just being upfront about it. It's not a plot twist that comes in later. They're just telling you right off the bat. But it's basically the same storyline again, but rebooted, different corporations. The corporation names are different. Everything has different names, and, well, that's all I can say without spoiling anything. Yeah, it's just a reboot. Things may or may not turn out differently. Who knows? Global Cortex is the new name of the Nest for Ravens. It says right there. Global Cortex, the Nest for Ravens. Operation code Black Feather. Client name Global Cortex. Place name Treen City. Start time 2000 hours. Security level 5. That's your safety level from before. Estimated success rate 85%. Estimated success rate 85%. Recommended Raven rank D. This is the Raven test.
We're nearly there. I'll go over the mission one more time. Your objective is to eliminate all forces occupying the city. The targets are battle MTs. Complete the mission, and you'll be registered as a Raven. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Don't blow it. Entering the area of operations. Move out.
Like in previous games with the Ravens test, if you fail it, it's a instant game over.
I'll do my best.
Apple Boy is your partner, I believe, the one in the other AC.
It's the operations part. Wrong city. You abandoned the mission.
At least they tell you deliberately now. Yeah, that's the other thing from the intro I forgot to mention. They emphasize a lot of team combat in this game. And yet, again, it rarely actually happens. There's rarely missions where you have a partner. And sometimes you can choose to hire a partner, pay some of your reward money to them.
Transport plane detected. They're sending in backup.
But yeah, when you have a partner, you know,
Test. You'll have to manage.
you'll see their health bar right here, your partner's health bar. Also, something else I gotta mention before this goes too far. Some missions, including this one, will change depending on how well you perform. So now, if you do really well, what just happened happens. If you took forever to kill those first enemies, that wouldn't happen. That scene that just happened with the plane sending in backup, you would have just been like, okay, it's over. Test is done. But if you perform really well like he did, that happens. Backup shows up and you have to kill more enemies. So the game has a little bit of a difficulty adjustment, DA as it's known, scale to it, this game. But it doesn't happen in too many missions, but in a few, like there is a significant amount of missions where it happens. And sometimes instead of just forcing you to fight like more enemies or tougher enemies, you get offered to go on another mission right away. So they'll be like, they're offering you another mission to start immediately if you want. You can either leave if you want to just be done with this contract, or you can accept the contract and go directly to the next mission right away. And even if you choose not to go right away, which they'll restore your ammo and your armor as well. It's like a reset anyway. But you don't get to go back to the main menu to customize your AC and all that. Even if you don't do that though, you can still sometimes with some missions you can still accept the one that they had offered you. You won't know if it's your first playthrough. You won't know that it is, but it'll be in the normal mission menu, so you don't like have to accept it right away. But it is something kind of neat to reward players for doing well. It gives you it boosts your ego a little bit, right? It kind of makes you feel like you're a badass a little bit. It's just a neat little thing. Like it's nothing too special of a feature, but it's kind of a neat little thing. Make you feel good about yourself, I guess, for playing well. As always, we start with nothing but a shitty mid-range rifle, a radar, some shitty missiles, and a basic beam sword. The one thing I'm gonna say right off the bat is I fucking love the soundtrack to this game, especially the main theme song, which we're listening to right now and we heard in the intro movie. Your partners can be quite useless sometimes.
All enemy units destroyed. You did well. You both performed well. Welcome to the ranks of an elite few. Ravens.
I love the shiny new Armored Cores in this game compared to Armored Core 2. Like, I love the Armored Core 3 era so much better. Okay, so here we go. Mails. And he's gonna read them in reverse order like always for some fucking reason. It's supposed to go down the top just like in real life, but... So, the second email, the controller. Title, number 0824-FK3203. So it's an email directly from the controller. This message is to notify citizen 0824-FK3203 of their authentication as a Raven, which includes the right to operate ACs in support of activities registered through Global Cortex. So yeah, obviously, the controller is going to know the social security number, the ID number, basically, of every one of its citizens, including you. So there it is. Keep in mind that your actions while holding this position must, at all times, adhere to the laws set in place for maintaining order throughout Layered. Layered is the name of the enormous underground city slash... Well, it's not really just one city, but the enormous underground world, essentially, that humanity lives in right now. Reports of any questionable activities will result in your immediate dismissal and the revoking of all rights and privileges associated with being a Raven. Good luck in your endeavors. So, the game over screen for this game, I'll just show it right now because it's actually relevant. What the controller just told us, that is the game over screen. So aside from the first mission with, you know, the Ravens test that we just did, which if you get a game over there, this game over screen makes no sense. Aside from that, in the late game, as always, with Armored Core 1 and 2, you're able to get a game over state if you fail crucial missions. And the game over screen for that, I should have pulled it up, but I always forget until the I always forget until we're actually at the point where I'm like, oh shit, that's right. Let's see. Armored Core 3, game over. Here it is. Oh, this one's actually 25 seconds. Because it's, well, why spoil it? You'll see for yourself in just a second. Here. Come on. There you go. Make sure it's showing. Alright, so here it is. Your status as a Raven has been revoked. You can see the controller's logo in the background. Global Cortex hereby strips you of all rights normally entitled by this position. That is all. Closing communication link. So it's actually an email from Global Cortex. Game over. But it's because you didn't adhere to the laws set forth by Laird as dictated by the controller. You did something illegal, essentially. Even if that isn't the, you know, even if that isn't the reason, that's just the game over screen no matter what. So yeah, if you're caught doing shady shit, you just get stripped of, you don't get to be a Raven anymore, so game over, because that's the whole game, obviously. So yeah, that's what the controller is warning you about right here. Reports of any questionable activities will result in your immediate dismissal and the revoking of all rights and privileges associated with being a Raven. Good luck in your endeavors. Lane Myers says, welcome, Raven. Good day, Raven. Let me take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Lane Myers, and I'll be acting as your Global Cortex Liaison Representative. So she's like Nell Alter or Lana Nielsen. Sorry. She's going to be your operator, essentially. As I am sure you are aware, Global Cortex is in the business of dispute resolution. The firm makes its money by hiring out Ravens, such as yourself, to clients in need of our special brand of mediation. I like the euphemisms, man. They always make me laugh. Okay. In our role as intermediary, we arrange mission assignments, offer a selection of mission escort units, and provide access to AC repair, armored core repair, and shop facilities. You have our full backing. All we ask is that you perform your best. The mission assignments you choose to accept and how they are carried out is up to you. Global Cortex will not interfere with regard to these decisions. So you're still mostly a free mercenary, but there are some regulations that you have to adhere to. Please note, though, that if trouble should occur during a mission, Global Cortex will not intervene on your behalf. Yeah, you're on your own. Again, let me welcome you aboard. I look forward to working with you. Thanks, Lane Myers. This is the new menu. Oh, you already got a good look at it earlier. Alright, Mission 1. First Layer, District 2. Yes, this map will expand. And there's our 3 new corporation names here, Mirage, Crest, and Kisaragi. And just like in Grand Theft Auto 2, for the PS1, old-ass game, you can actually see which corporation of the 3 is doing better. Right now, Mirage is in the lead by a very small margin. It's almost neck and neck with Crest. Kisaragi's getting its ass kicked, apparently. You can change this, of course, depending on who you work for and your mission success rate with them. So there's Defend the Arena, Requester Global Cortex, or End Employee Standoff. We're going with that one. Requester Crest.
A group of employees, unhappy about our decision to shut down the Zydan weapons factory, have taken over control. They've modified the factory's MTs for combat and are using them to keep the demolition team at bay. Remove them from the premises immediately. Closing the factory was a difficult decision, but had to be done in order to accommodate the need for more housing. Every day we are delayed is costing huge sums of money. We're sending you in to end the standoff and get the project back on track. Eliminate all targets in the factory.
So, I was adjusting my volume because I noticed this video is actually, the dialogue at least, is super fucking quiet. I missed why they're occupying it.
But had to be done.
Oh, okay, disgruntled workers. I see. That's what it is, right? There it is, yeah. That's a crucial part I missed because I was looking at the audio bar. Group of employees unhappy about our decision to shut down the weapons factory. Gotcha, okay.
Are using them to keep the demolition team at bay.
Yeah.
But had to be done in order to accommodate.
Alright, so I missed that.
We're sending you in to end
I turned down my
and get the project back on track. Eliminate all targets in the factory.
You notice it has some parallels and similarities to Eliminate Squatters. It's basically the same thing. This is literally a remake of the first game, essentially. The first Armored Core game. Because Eliminate Squatters was the same exact premise, and that's one of the first missions you can do. It was disgruntled employees / factory workers who were refusing to disoccupy the factory that was shut down or whatever. Yada yada. It's the same thing. So this is literally a remake of the first game, essentially. They're rebooting the series. Oh yeah, so Consort 1 and 2, this is where you would select a partner if you want. You put Consort Select, this right here. He's obviously not going to do it. He wants the money. And you can give some of your money, your reward money, to 1 or 2 partners. And there's a pre-selected like list you can choose from. Some of them, most of the time your consorts can just be MTs, like MT pilots. The cool thing, we probably won't see it because it looks like he's not going to get partners or use partners. The cool thing about it though is that your consorts who pilot MTs at the beginning of the game, if they survive, if they don't get killed in any missions with you, or any missions that they're on that they're already on, they're mandatory, they're going to show up there whether you like it or not. If they don't get killed for a certain period of time, they can actually become Ravens and get their own ACs. And then the next time you partner with them, they'll be in an AC instead of a shitty little MT. It's really cool. There's actually one I'm thinking of. I can't remember his name, but I remember always wanting to keep him alive because he can die in a mission that's actually kind of difficult to keep him alive in. But if he survives it, he becomes a Raven with an AC that can help you later. That's pretty cool. Game has a lot of interesting new mechanics. Again, nothing like huge, but yeah, some little things. Operation Mousetrap.
Stick to the plan. Those MTs are no match for AC.
Lane Myers is ruthless.
They sent in a Raven.
You bastard! You son of a bitch!
At least this, yeah, the gameplay is fine when it comes to the volume, but it was the mission briefings. Just like in the last game, they were a little quiet, but in this game, they were quieter, man. The mission briefings are like somebody fucking whispering into your ear. So I lowered my microphone by 2 notches, about a decibel. Just, oh my god. Dude, okay, that guy's fine, but the voice acting on that last guy, this guy right here, look, listen, that was so bad. Oh no. He literally just says, oh no. See, at least that guy put in some effort, dude. Like that.
That's all of them. Let's head out.
But that other dude was just like a robot. Oh no. I like how Lane Myers was like, stick to the plan. Those MTs are no match for an AC. Kill them. Murder them. The life of a mercenary. You do what you're told as long as they pay you, right? Crest says, our thanks. Good work, Raven. We appreciate your help. If a few factory jobs have to be sacrificed for the greater good of society, then so be it. It's a harsh reality, but the decision to redevelop Sector 303 was made by the controller, and we aren't about to stand in the way. Oh, so it wasn't actually their decision. Okay. We sincerely hope that you'll continue to assist us so that order can be maintained. Seems Crest is highly obedient and respective of whatever the controller wants. But I mean, who wouldn't be outwardly, right? I mean, who would say otherwise, knowing what would happen if dissent is detected, right? That the controller's a dictator. Like, who would openly say, fuck the controller? Like, what would happen to them? They'd probably get killed or just, like, stripped of their citizenship and yada yada. Like, who would ever say anything bad about the controller? So, it stands to reason I don't think Crest's loyalty to the controller is very uncommon, obviously. But they made it. They seem to have wanted to make it pretty clear, right? They were just like, we're not going to get in the way of the controller. It was their will, so we're just carrying it out for them by getting rid of these fools who weren't trying not to listen, basically. Because obviously they were left unemployed and no way to feed themselves. Lane Myers says, Laird. Since its inception, Laird has been governed by the controller. A complex and extremely powerful AI computer system. See, there it is. There's no plot twist here. They're being open about the story this time. Needless to say, the importance of the controller's existence is hard to deny. All aspects of life for those living in Laird are managed and maintained by the controller. Even who you're allowed to date or something? Or how deep does it go? However, there seems to be some discontent among Laird's population, and the number of uprisings has increased in recent years. Perhaps the very system that is Laird is coming apart. People are starting to rise up against it, huh? Not much of a surprise there. Those who died today did so because they resisted the controller, but I still can't help feeling sorry for them. Okay, there you go. She's not so ruthless after all. She has a heart. Feels like they didn't deserve that. Like, her logical brain is like, the controller has always controlled everything since the day I was born and before that. Like, but since the day I was born, I've been conditioned to think that way. So I know this is correct. What happened, it was supposed to happen, but yet I still feel like they didn't deserve it. Like there was something wrong with that. I can't help but feel sorry for them. So she has some cognitive dissonance, basically. Nice character development right off the bat with her. It's like she knows this is how things are supposed to be, but some part of her doesn't fully believe that. Otherwise she wouldn't feel sorry for them. She's like, something wasn't right about that. Secure the mines. Requester Mirage.
We'd like you to execute an attack on the Grand Mining Facility. Kisaragi has played a leading role in the mine's operation and just recently uncovered a rich vein of rare metal ore.
This might backfire, but I think what I'm gonna do so that this isn't ridiculously quiet compared to me or the in-game audio. Never mind. I was thinking of using the audio boost function under the video, but then I have to get out of full screen, and if I forget to undo it when the mission starts, it'll blow everyone's eardrums out. I'll just stay quiet during the mission briefings, and then you guys can raise it up, I guess. I'll just won't talk until after. But yeah, there's too much risk of me forgetting to undo it or something, and then when the mission starts, it's just gonna be like fucking, and then rip everyone's eardrums. So, all right, I'll just.
We'd like you to execute an attack on the Grand Mining Facility. Kisaragi has played a leading role in the mine's operation and just recently uncovered a rich vein of rare metal ore. Needless to say, the ore has considerable value and we're unwilling to allow Kisaragi to corner the market. After consultation with other corporations, it was decided that the mine's resources are to be equally distributed and that we, Mirage, will take over its day-to-day operations. However, although Kisaragi agreed to this, they continue to mine the ore and are in clear violation of the arrangement that was settled upon. We want to avoid damage to the mine and its assets, but all Kisaragi personnel are to be removed from the facility.
Operation Calm Down.
Engaged. Raven, destroy all forces occupying the facility. Avoid damaging any of the
so many songs in this game, man. I gotta raise this up. Armored Core 2, there was like 1 or 2 at most songs that I liked. Another Age had a kick-ass theme song. But this game, there's a shit ton of songs I love. Especially some that only play in like arena matches. So we're not going to hear them because I don't think he's going to do the arena matches. Just like he didn't do them in Armored Core 2. The video would be like 2 hours longer if he did. Just MSQ only.
Destruction of all enemy targets confirmed. Great work, Raven.
Objective achieved.
I like since we saw the nest for ravens, I like the symbolism in the intro movie with the raven at the beginning. The red eye I had. Mirage says Raven. Everyone always calls you Raven because you can you can customize your name. You can pick your pilot name at the beginning so it can be anything. So obviously they're not gonna just, I guess in text they could make it so that it says your actual name, right? But it would be inconsistent with voice acting, with the voice acting segments in the actual missions where they're always just gonna call you Raven. So they just leave it as Raven no matter what. Much easier than trying to write, at least back then too, writing some code to make it so that it's always your name, like an FF14 or something, you know. Remember, this is still early 2000s, so game is nostalgic for me. But even when it was, it's nostalgic because I loved it so much from back then. It's more nostalgic for me than the other games that we've done so far. I played this game a lot, Armored Core 3, primarily because I love the story. More than most of the other games. Anyway, Mirage says, nice job for a newcomer. We hope we can count on your continued support. I can hardly distinguish the commas from the periods in this fucking font. Crest's notion that they are the controller's selected representatives is becoming intolerable. Oh, okay, so now Mirage is establishing that Crest is some fucking ass kissers with the controller, basically. They do some brown nosing. They fucking suck the controller's dick. That's what it sounded like from the email we got from Crest, right? The Mirage continues. They said, Layered has matured and it's time to forge ahead to the next level. We here at Mirage are prepared to make that happen. Raven, it's time to make a decision. We're confident you'll make the right one. So of course, yeah, all the companies want to try to buy your loyalty, or yeah, like in just any of the previous games, yeah, they want to this is Defend the Arena by Global Cortex.
Information has come to light regarding a possible terrorist attack on Global Cortex interests. The instigators have yet to be revealed, but there is no mistaking their intentions. As far as we know, they plan to disable one of our arena facilities and force the cancellation of an upcoming match. Stand by on scene and make sure the attack does not succeed. An overwhelming show of force must be brought to bear so that our response isn't misinterpreted. Hostilities against Global Cortex are not tolerated and will be dealt with accordingly. Due to our stance on this matter, your reward will be determined by the number of enemy units destroyed.
Operation Fighting Dogs.
System engaged.
So even though this is the default arena,
There are more than we expected. Be careful.
like this is where you can do arena matches if you want. But just like in Master of Arena and Armored Core 2, you can pick other stages to fight your opponents in. And again, you can exploit other stages. You can exploit using other stages against the as an advantage against your opponents, basically. You can put them at a disadvantage by choosing a different stage. But if you want like a completely 100% equal playing field against your opponents, the default arena, which is this, is where you would fight them. But yeah, even some missions take place here too. Like this one. Not too many, obviously. I think it's just I think it's literally just this one, honestly.
Looks like you could use a hand.
Hey!
AC Guernica identified.
Dylan!
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, you don't have to pay him anything. Sometimes you just get random help like that. It doesn't like come out of your reward or anything. And yeah, that is a Raven/AC that you can fight against in the arena as well. I'll mention this now because he's not going to do the arena matches. You can actually, in this game, they actually made it a little bit more immersive. I don't know if it happens in Armored Core 2. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But in this game, I know for a fact that as you climb the ranks of the arena, you will actually get emails from Ravens that you just defeated or that you're going to fight soon that are slightly above you. And the ones who you haven't fought yet, like, sometimes they'll just be talking shit. Sometimes they'll just be saying, like, congrats on winning, like the ones you've already defeated. But the ones you haven't fought yet who send you emails sometimes will just be, like, threatening you and telling you to, like, back down because you're not going to take their spot or whatever. You'll be destroyed soon enough. You're not going to make it to the top. They'll just talk mad shit because they're obviously insecure and start getting scared that you're going to come for their spot. It's really funny to watch, actually. It happens with a few Ravens, basically. They'll just send you an email threatening you, like, you better back the fuck off, fool. It ain't gonna last much longer.
Very impressive, Raven. Perhaps we'll work together again.
You don't. I don't remember another mission with this guy.
Achieved.
It's kind of cool, though. They sent in another Raven to help you out. That was a lot of assholes. Like, that mission took a while. Even when he showed up to help. But yeah, I really like that feature too, though. How Ravens will just talk mad shit to you after or before after you defeat them or before you even fight them in the arena. They'll just talk shit. Some of them, like I said, though, are good sports and they will just congratulate you after you defeat them. Not a lot of them, though. Most of them are sore losers. Gatos says, we'll meet again. You're quite a pilot, Raven. I like your style. And we still keep in mind, we still have just like the fucking basic ass AC too. We make a good team and hopefully we'll have a chance to work together again. Actually, now that I look at his emblem, I think you do get to work with him again, but it's optional. You can hire him as a consort, I believe. And still fight him in the arena, which means he's a good sport. He doesn't mind. Okay, first AC modifications, here we go. You see how there's two other ACs behind this one? Armored Core 2 had this feature already, it just wasn't as obvious. You only got to see one on screen at one time. So I forgot that it was a feature already since Armored Core 2 until now that I see them back there. You can have 3 different presets. So it's technically just one AC, but you can have 3 different configurations. The reason I say it that way is because it means you don't have to, like, if you want 3 different ACs who have the same leg part, you only need to buy 1 pair of legs and you can put it on all 3. Because technically it is just one AC, but there's 3 different preset configurations that you can make for it. So you don't have to get like 3 weapons if you want all 3 of them to have the same weapon. Which, why would you do that anyway, since you can only take 1 into battle? But still, it's a quality of life feature that they added in Armored Core 2 that I totally forgot to mention. That just lets you have different loadouts at the ready. So you can have a loadout that's like tank leg based or the floating water leg type. So you can be like, oh, if I know I'm going to go into a water level, I'll just switch over to this one that I already have fully equipped for that. This guy didn't take advantage of that. He just kept modifying his own AC, and he looks like he might still do the same thing in this one. He's not going to bother with the other two presets, so they're just going to stay default. He's just going to modify his primary one that he always uses, the main one, whenever he needs to for a mission, because that's what he did in Armored Core 2. If he had actually used the other two presets and like switched between ACs on screen, I would have noticed it and remembered that was a thing, and I would have talked about it. And I'm pretty sure it was a thing in Armored Core 2. I could be wrong though. This game could be the first one to introduce that mechanic, but I want to remember it was in Armored Core 2. Defend Nair Bridge by Mirage.
Nair Bridge, a work in progress, has been seized by forces threatening to destroy it unless construction ceases immediately. The project is one of great importance, literally bridging the gap that has impeded trade between the two neighboring districts. Those holding the bridge are thought to be part of a smuggling ring that has benefited from the situation. The smugglers disguised themselves as bridge workers and commandeered their MTs. The bridge's construction must not be delayed. Eliminate those holding it.
It's funny how all these worker MTs, they're just for like construction and shit. Operation Zip Up Lips.
A Raven. I guess they decided to ignore our warning. Squad, I want this AC turned into scrap.
You bastard!
System engaged.
Son of a bitch! Remember that?
There isn't much room to maneuver. Watch your footing.
Yeah, you can fall here. What the hell was I about to say? Oh yeah, it's funny how all these worker class MTs still have like projectile weapons. They can shoot at you. It's like if they're meant to be used for construction, why can't they shoot lasers? However, it's not too strange if you think about the world we're living in this universe, okay? But remember, murder is legal, just like in the previous Armored Core games, obviously. The controller literally allows the corporations to fight and try to kill each other. And it mediates, it even controls the war between the three of them. So it lets them kill each other. It lets capitalism run basically almost unhindered, right? This series continues to be the unregulated hyper-capitalism simulator. So the controller allows that to happen. So it makes sense, I guess, that they would actually give weapons to worker MTs just in case something like that happens, where like a company, one of the corporations wants to build something, but a rival corporation doesn't want them to, so they send enemies to try and stop the construction by killing their employees who are working. So it gives the employees a chance to defend themselves. They're like trying to build a bridge and, oh shit, here come enemies, we can at least shoot back. It's not the best weaponry, obviously, but it gives them a fighting chance, right? There's no cops around to protect them. They got to protect themselves. Since everything's so unregulated, so yeah. It actually makes sense that worker MTs would have some kind of weaponry, even if it's weak. Escort Transport by Kisaragi.
A bomb has been planted on one of our transport vehicles traveling the A24 superhighway. The bomb is designed to explode if the transport decelerates, so we'll have to defuse it on the fly.
Okay, this is 100% inspired by the movie Speed with Keanu Reeves as the main character. Just Google it. When you see the premise, you'll know what I mean. It's exactly this. But it's a bus full of people. Some terrorist puts a bomb on it, and it's set to blow if the bus goes below like 50 miles an hour. Something like that. And that's literally the whole movie.
Clearing the highway and redirecting the transport to a remote area. But a contingent of enemy units has taken up positions along the route. Please ensure that the transport reaches our bomb disposal team without incident. They'll take care of matters from there. Be aware that if the transport comes into contact with anything, the bomb may explode.
So clear the way so it doesn't crash, and make sure it never has to slow down. Operation code Allegro.
Raven, get moving. Clear a path for the transport.
System engaged.
So we're in the movie Speed. We're Keanu Reeves right now, but we're in a fucking giant mech. The poor driver of that truck, man. He can crash into you too, obviously, because he can't slow down or stop. But you also gotta stay out of the truck's way. Yeah, you can just walk on cars to blow them up like in the first game. And almost every song in this game is a fucking banger to me. Much better than Armored Core 2 soundtrack, honestly. The overall sound design of Armored Core 2 was not... just did not hit with me. At this point, we're hella far ahead of the truck, so... Still at the beginning of the game, the missions aren't that hard, you know? Blend! The bomb disposal squad is right there. And that's it. Mission complete. We just gotta wait for the fucker to get here. Time to sit here and twiddle our thumbs. Fuck is he, man? We left him hella far back. That's an emulator glitch again. You can see the lights of the city in the background coming through the tunnel walls. You see that shit? The red lights up here? Yeah, that's an emulator thing again. Good thing ACs are so big you can outrun a truck with your boosters. Makes it perfect for this kind of situation. That movie I mentioned, Speed, I think it is a late 90s, early 2000s movie, so this is definitely this mission is definitely on the nose. But it was like semi-popular, so. The antagonist was played by an actor named Dennis Hopper, who I think was also kind of famous too. He might still be. I don't know though.
We'll take over from here. Good job, Raven.
I'm saved.
Well, not yet, friend. The bomb disposal squad has to do its thing while you're still driving.
Objective achieved.
But yeah, for the most part, he's fine now. Oh, there's the idle pose again. See? Same thing, just left, right, center. Left, right, center. The torso keeps doing that. I don't know what the idle animation is for like if you have tank legs. I think it's the same. I don't know though. Defend testing ground from Global Cortex.
Recently, Global Cortex has been the target of repeated attacks perpetrated by an unknown organization. Their activities tapered off after several back-to-back failures, but have resumed again in earnest since acquiring a new source of financial support. According to sources we will not disclose, they intend to infiltrate a stealth bomber into Aiden City and disrupt scheduled test exercises. If the attack succeeds, our reputation is ruined. Destroy the bomber before it reaches the testing grounds.
So basically, they're doing a Ravens test, just like the one you just did not too long ago. But somebody's gonna try to... I mean, it happened during our Ravens test, where, again, only if you perform well enough this happens, but that transport plane showed up with reinforcements and they said, we weren't prepared for this, but you'll have to manage. It's basically that, but this time it's a fucking bomber that's just gonna blow up the whole city with the two Raven hopefuls, I guess? The two Ravens that are taking the test to become Ravens. I guess you can't call them Ravens yet, but they're in ACs, obviously. Operation Cross Counter. You gotta help make sure this Ravens test goes unabated.
It looks like they've sent an advance element. Take them out.
Great! They send assholes ahead of the bomber, of course. They must really want to fucking stop this test.
update. The bomber will be in range in 1 minute.
A bomber? Nothing was ever said about that.
We can't stop the exercise now. Take out that bomber.
Same evaluator for our Ravens test not long ago. I think, so Regina's one of the Raven hopefuls that's taking the test right now. That's why she freaked out. She's like, no one said anything about a bomber. What the fuck is this? And just like the evaluator told you to deal with it, the evaluator told her also, you gotta deal with it.
20 seconds until the target is in range. Get ready.
Gonna be a DPS check when it gets here. There it is. Just the missile launch just shattered the windows next to it, probably from the like the force of the. I don't know if it's not really a sonic boom, but you know what I mean. Like it's kind of like when a speaker gets turned up too loud, it can just blow out windows. Probably the force of the missile just popping out like that, too close to the window.
The exercise was completed without incident. Good work.
Hey!
Thank you, Raven.
She sounds super relieved.
Mission complete. Good work.
Damn it! Kill him! Hell yeah! Managed to kill the last enemy before the mission was, ended. Thank goodness there was so much dialogue there. Look, he got all that special edition extra money for killing all of them. New mail. Regina says, thanks. I heard you were the one that brought down the bomber trying to interfere with my AC test. I just wanted to say thanks for your help.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
That's her basically saying that. Even though our name's not Dylan, it's Simon apparently. Did he just sell off the rifle or did he unequip it? Oh yeah, you can sell stuff right from the garage now. The assembly menu is called now. Getting some new boosters, replace those shitty ones I guess. What's a new weapon? Slightly better rifle. Okay. There it is. At this point, they've implemented the anti-soft lock feature where anything you sell can be bought back for the same exact price that you sold it. It doesn't cost more. It's not more expensive. Rescue the survey team from Kisaragi.
The survey team we infiltrated into Mirage's research facility was discovered and is currently trapped. They're doing what they can to hold out, but the odds aren't in their favor. Enter the facility and help them escape. Mirage's forces will do their best to destroy the survey team. Make sure they fail.
Do you see a little picture of the three little dudes? Operation Round Trip. They're human-sized. They're not MTs or anything. What the hell is up with this water? Oh my god, the fucking emulator is ruining it. Look at the water, dude. It looks horrendous. My immersion.
Move it.
Okay, hold on. I'll go back because I was fucking around. But it's just like, damn. The sewer water looks like shit. Look at that. Yikes, man. I'm glad I still have my PS2 copies because, God, this makes me not want to play it on emulator ever.
We need help now.
I just hope my PS2 keeps working for a long time. there's an item. There was an AC part there. Nice. This is another one of my favorite songs from the game.
Raven, cover us.
There they are.
Survey team identified. Make sure they get to the escape point.
So once again, you'll get a sense of scale between humans and, you know, ACs and MTs.
Over there.
Because they're just humans wearing a battle suit, I guess. Like they're just wearing some protective little armor. It works, I guess, if they can survive bullets the size of those fucking miniguns by comparison, you know? You gotta catch up.
Enemy reinforcements are closing in.
Fuck out of here. They're so tiny.
Stop her!
Oh shit!
Surprise, motherfucker!
I remember these fucking... Oh, I forgot about these ambushes is what I meant to say. I know we saw 2 more before there. I wasn't expecting that last one though.
We made it. Thanks for the help.
Objective achieved.
God, the music is so fucking good in this game. It's so emotional. It's really good. That's the best way I can describe it. It's got soul behind it. Armored Core 2's music just felt kind of soulless to me. For the most part. Armored Core 1's was like you were in a fucking nightclub. You know? Which isn't bad. I like a ton of songs from the first Armored Core games, but this game just hits different. I like it. Infiltrate... Wait, what did it say? Infiltrate what? Oh, eliminate infiltrators. God, my brain, dude. I read that totally backwards. Okay, from Kisaragi.
We've just encountered a security breach involving the computer system at our weapons development facility. The hackers involved got away before they could be apprehended. They're using MTs to make their escape and are currently holed up in the D1 block of the parking structure. We're employing multiple Ravens for this mission. Any information the hackers were able to get their hands on must be intercepted. Make sure none of them escape.
So instead of you hiring a consort as backup, like Operation Wind-Up Toy, they've already hired one to help you out. Or you're helping them out, however you want to look at it. Either way, you get their health bar right there.
Gates between different levels are locked. I can't open them from here.
Oh yeah, this is a callback to
The airborne MTs control the gate locks.
That's your partner, Raven.
Destroy them.
This is a callback to trying to eliminate the intruder trying to escape from the parking garage in the first Armored Core game. I'm telling you, they really made this to be like a remake of the first game. It's even the parking garage even has a very similar structure. Obviously the low roof, it's a parking garage, but the way you like open the door to wind down and go down to the next floor and the next one. The difference is it's not just one tanky ass little MT enemy that you're chasing around like an asshole. Whew. intense. You'd think he was having trouble, but look at his health, dude. He's fine. But he sounds super stressed. You gotta call that shit out. Enemy unit destroyed.
I'm here. Dylan!
Oh, right! They added an... Yeah, I'm pretty sure this wasn't a thing in Armored Core 2. It might have been, but I don't think so. I didn't see it, no. Instead of a blade on your left hand, you can actually finally just hold a secondary weapon. But it's only, like, it can't be, it can't just be the same weapons that you can put on your right arm. It has to be different. It's a different set of weapons, like sub-weapons, essentially, instead of a blade.
All enemy units destroyed.
And he has that. He has a sub-weapon that isn't the blade. And he's on his left hand. You know, this reminds me, you can do something devious in this game too. Since some of your partners like this one are ranking ravens, you can totally friendly fire without failing the mission in some cases. You can just kill them even if they're on your team for the mission, and then you don't have to fight them in the arena if you want. Which is a fucked up thing to do, obviously. But you can do that if you want. Though none of the ACs that you partner up with are really much of a problem in the arena. And not all of them that you partner with are even on... You can't just like fight all of them in the arena either. Which is kind of weird. There's like some ravens you never see there. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking... No, never mind. Nah, they're all there. They're all there. Never mind. What I was thinking of is the fact that when new ravens are added to the arena, like when old ones are taken out, they're killed in a mission, they're added to the bottom of the arena. So you can fight them optionally, but you don't have to fight them if you just want to continue climbing the ranks. You don't have to. Ravens that replace ones that are destroyed. So I guess technically you are giving yourself an advantage just killing them during a mission. That's if you know, you don't have to, but...
Objective achieved.
I guess you could think of it as making like a shortcut to the top if you're trying to climb the ranks. I like how this guy was just like, you're quite a pilot, Raven. Yeah, we already did that. But yeah, he basically said...
You son of a bitch.
Anyway, we got mail. Crest. Closure of Sector 302. The controller ordered Sector 302 sealed the other day. Please be advised that this area is now off limits. The closure was deemed necessary in order to counter the recent increase in terrorist activity. The philosophies of those responsible are in direct conflict with those of the controller, and the situation has spun out of control. We're exploring a number of different options for dealing with this threat, and we ask that citizens assist us in our efforts. Kiss an ass to the controller yet again. They're like, the controller wants this done, so we're gonna take charge of this, even though they didn't ask us to. Even though the controller didn't ask us to, we're gonna do it anyway. Because we love sucking the controller's dick. Proverbial dick, I guess, because, you know, an AI doesn't have one, but... You know what I mean.
You suck!
Alright, before we go, I wanted him to get the... I almost said character management, like a JRPG or something. I wanted him to get the AC management out of the way. But we're going to pause here because it's been an hour, so I'm going to take a little break. I'll be back as usual in about 5-10 minutes, and we'll continue from here. Are we 40 minutes in? Game will probably take 1, 2, 3, 4, like 3 to 4 more segments, yeah. Alright, be right back.